I built my Airbnb business to over £150,000 a year before I ran a single ad. Not one single ad before that point. And I didn't do this by chasing landlords one by one. Like, that's what everyone does. They go landlord hunting, one landlord at a time, code message after code message. It's slow, it's painful, and it barely works. I did the complete opposite. I went and found people who already had hundreds of landlords sitting right there on their books. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how you can do the same. So just stay with me, because here's what you're going to get in this video. Number one, the shift. Why chasing landlords one by one is the slowest way to grow, and what you should actually be doing instead. Then I'm going to give you my full networking system. I call it C.A.R.E. So 4 letters: criteria, adapt, reinforce, and endure. And if you get this right and you walk into a room of strangers and you walk out with people who send you landlords for years, then I'm going to show you the part that nobody talks about. How to structure it so paying these people costs you absolutely nothing out of your own pocket. And by the end of this, you will have a repeatable way to find landlords. You know, one that doesn't rely on luck, it doesn't rely on the big budget, and doesn't rely on you being some smooth salesperson. It just relies on you following the process, and anyone can do that. This is in theory. This is the exact system I used to build my business before I spent a single penny on ads. And it works even better today, because landlords right now need what you do more than ever before. Let's get into this. So let's start with the shift, because if you get this wrong, everything after it is just harder. When people start this business, they all think the same way. We need properties. Who has properties? Landlords. So let's go find landlords, and off they go. Portals, cold calls, code messages, chasing one landlords after the other. It's like trying to fill a bath with one cup of water at a time. Now here's the smarter way to do it. Instead of hunting landlords one by one, go and find the people who already have access to landlords. People who already have a professional relationship with them. Like in their normal day-to-day, they deal with landlords all the time. I call this key people of influence. Think about who they are: estate agents, mortgage brokers, accountants, property solicitors. And it doesn't stop there. Think like plumbers, electricians, gas engineers, cleaners. Every single one of these people already work with landlords. Not one, dozens, sometimes hundreds. An estate agent might have 500 landlords in their books. A mortgage broker speaks to property owners every single day. An accountant does the books for landlords after landlords. So think about it. You could spend 6 months trying to find 20 landlords on your own, or you could build a relationship with one estate agent who already knows 200 landlords. That's the shift I'm talking about. You stop being the hunter and you become connected to people who already have what you're looking for. That is how I got to £150,000 before I touched a single ad. And let me give you a real example. There is an estate agent that I've worked with for years now. Like, honestly, we're basically like partners. He will message me and say, Ibrahim, here's a new landlord. You know, have a look at this one, let me know what you think. And that relationship never cost me a marketing budget. It cost me a few coffees and being genuinely useful to him. But now let's run the maths on that. If you go out cold, you might have to speak to 50 landlords just to find one who's even interested. But one good agent, one who already trusts you, can hand you warm landlords after warm landlords, all with the trust that he's already built with them. That's the difference between pushing all day and being pulled towards deals. You stop knocking on doors and the doors start opening for you. Now, here's the question you're probably asking. How do I actually do this? How do I turn a stranger into an estate agent? Because walking up cold and asking for landlords doesn't work either. Like, there's a right way and a wrong way to build these relationships. And the way you do it, the right way, is the system that I'm about to give you right now. So let's get into the system, C.A.R.E. Now, the first letter is C, which is criteria. Here's the truth most people miss. The criteria you set before you even walk into the room will decide how well you do. If you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. I'm sure we've all heard that before. There are 2 kinds of criteria that you need to think about. The criteria of the event and then your criteria. So let's start with the event first. There are loads of different networking events out there. And here's where almost everyone gets this wrong. Because here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Most of the people teaching you this stuff online, they're teaching you things that flat out do not work. They've never done it themselves. There's no way they would have done, because they would know it doesn't work. They tell you to go to property networking events, and it sounds right, doesn't it? Property people, it makes sense, but it's rubbish. Like, think about who's actually in that room. Every single person in there wants exactly what you want. They're all looking for landlords. They're all looking for deals. They're all hunting the same thing that you're hunting. You're not networking. You're all just circling each other, fishing in the same tiny pond for the same few fish. Now look, let me say this plainly. Nobody in the property networking room can help you because they need the exact same thing that you walked in there for. You spend your whole evening swapping sub stories with your own competition, and then you walk out with absolutely nothing. So stop going to them and go to general business networking events instead. Rooms full of business owners, people there to grow and to help each other grow. Like, that's where your key people of influence are. The accountants, the brokers, the agents. Now, here's how you choose. When you first start, you don't know which rooms are good yet. You go wide. You try lots of them, and you're measuring one thing above all. How many key people of influence for our industry are actually in that room? That is your number one filter. If two rooms are similar, then and only then you pick by feel. Which room did you click with? But never pick a room on vibes alone. You can have a lovely time and get zero business. So here's a practical tip. You can often tell what kind of room it's going to be before you even book it. Look at who runs it. Look at who's spoken there before. Look at the type of businesses that they actually attract. And when you get there, don't work the whole room like a headless chicken. Your job on the first night isn't to close anyone. It's simply to spot your people, the agents, the brokers, the accountants. Have 2 or 3 real conversations, not 20 rushed ones. Quality over quantity every single time. Then you know if this room is actually worth coming back to. Then the second kind of criteria is your own criteria. Before you walk in, you need to know exactly who it is that you're looking for. Write it down if you have to. Tonight, I want to meet estate agents and mortgage brokers, because if you don't know who you want to, you're going to talk to everyone and you're going to end up connecting with absolutely no one. You live with a pocket full of business cards and not a single real relationship. So get clear before you even go there. Know your person, know your room. That is the criteria. Next letter, A, for adapt. Once you're in front of the right person, you have to adapt to them. Guys, every person is different. So you adapt to 3 things: the problem they have, the analysis of their situation, and the solution that you bring. You don't run the same robotic pitch at every single person. You read them and you adjust to them. Now, let me give you the actual approach word for word so you can use it. Say there's someone you already know, an estate agent, a broker, anyone connected to landlords. The first thing you do is invite them for a coffee on you. It's on me, it's on you. All right? And you set the tone. You say, look, I want to talk to you about something. Let's sit down properly and have a conversation. Now, what that does is that already tells them this is a serious conversation. This is not the usual small talk. Like, if they get nervous, just calm them down. Say, look, don't worry, nothing wrong. I'm not going to ask you for money, right? I just want to run something by you. Then you sit down and you keep it human. You say, I've started this business. Here's exactly what I do. I started it because I wanted something that actually helps people. And you know property, so you know what's been going on. The mortgage paying, the new Renters' Rights Act, how landlords feel right now. And this is the most important part, the bit that builds instant trust. You never ever overpromise. You say, look, I can't help everyone. This only works if the numbers actually work. This is a data business, so we would actually have to analyze the property first. I'm not going to sit here and promise you the world and promise you what we can or can't do for your landlords. Like, that one line changes everything, because now you're not, the guy just blowing smoke. You're the professional who checks first and only speaks when the data actually says so. Then you paint the outcome. If the property is in the right area, we can often generate double or even triple the revenue when compared to a traditional let. Completely hands-free for the landlord. We handle the guests, the check-ins, the cleaning, the maintenance. They just get paid, and they get to sidestep all of these new regulations. That's how you adapt. You meet the pain, you stay honest, and you paint the win, right? It's simple, it's human, it's powerful. And notice what you just did there. You didn't just run a robotic script at them. You read the individual. If they're worried, you reassure them. If they're skeptical, you lean harder into the honesty and the data. If they're excited, you actually slow them down. You remind them it all depends on the numbers. That's what adapting really means. The problem in front of you, the analysis of their situation, and the solution that you bring. You bend it to fit them. You don't just force them to fit your pitch. That doesn't work. And here's why this matters more than any clever words. People don't do business with the smoothest talkers. They do business with the person who actually understands them. Slow down, listen more than you speak, and make them feel heard. That on its own will put you ahead of 90% of the people that they've ever met at those events. And just a quick pause here. I've put the exact scripts that we use for these conversations inside my free 30-day Airbnb launch plan. It walks you through the whole thing from start to finish. The link is in the description below. Now let's get back to it. Third letter, R, is for reinforce. This is just a fancy word for following up. And I need you to hear this. The quickest way to lose credibility with someone that you just met is to not follow up with them. The quickest way to gain credibility is to follow up as well. Like, let me tell you where most people go wrong. They go to one event, nothing happens on that night. So they think, well, that was rubbish. There's no business there. I'm not going back. And they never return. Well, here's what they don't get. There might have been one landlord, one agent in that room with 40 properties. And that person was quietly watching to see if you're actually serious. They've seen 100 people like you turn up before, talk big, and then just disappear. So when you don't come back, you've just proven their point. They don't know what they're doing. Networking is not a one-night thing, it's relationship building. So how do you reinforce properly? You take notes. After you meet someone, write down who they are, what they do, what they said, and you put them into a simple CRM, even a spreadsheet to start. You set your alarms and reminders to actually follow up with them. You connect with them, you send them a message, you lock in the next step straight away. Now, let me just give you the shape of a good follow-up. Within a day of meeting them, you send them a simple message, right? Something like this. James, Ayo, I really enjoyed our chat earlier. You mentioned that landlord who's frustrated with the new rules. I'm happy to take a proper look whenever that suits you. Now, look at what that does. It's short, it's specific, and it references something that they actually said, which tells them you were really listening. Most people never do this. So the moment that you do, you stand out like a sore thumb. And here's the real game. The goal of the event is not the event. The goal is to book one-to-one meetings outside of the event. You go every week, and every week you're booking one-to-ones, coffees with people from that room. That's where the real relationships actually form. That's where the deals come from, not at the event themselves, right? It's not the name badge and the sandwiches. It's the follow-up after the event. And keep a simple record, who they are, what they need, when you last spoke to them. A spreadsheet is fine to start, but you can use a CRM. If you're part of our community, you get a CRM. Because the person that you forget to follow up with might be the very one sitting on 30 properties. Don't leave that to memory. Reinforce every single time. And the last letter is E for endure. Now, this is the long game. Networking is about going deep, not wide. At the start, you go wide to find your rooms, yes. But once you found them, now it's time to go deep. You can't properly be a member of more than 2 networking events. Like, you just can't. It's not possible. If you're doing it right, it's not possible. Because doing it right means showing up every single week for a long period of time. So how do you endure? Just be nice. Just stay consistent. You touch base. You catch up when it makes sense. And you share opportunities with them as well. Help them grow their business. Because relationships goes both ways. You help them as well. And that's the bit that a lot of people forget. If you only ever take from a relationship, it dies. So make sure you're looking for ways to give first. Send that accountant a client. Refer that plumber to someone who needs one. Introduce 2 people in the room who should really know each other. Because when you're the person who's always giving, people want to help you back. It becomes natural. It's almost automatic. You're no longer asking for favors. You're just a valued part of their world. And over time, you stop being the new person and you become the person that they all trust. Now, let me just close the loop on the bit that I promised. How you make it worth their while without it costing you. So take an estate agent. Sometimes they've got a landlord that they're about to lose anyway. Maybe that landlord wants to sell. Maybe they want more rent than the market will give them. So instead of losing that landlord, the agent sends them to you. And from your percentage, you give the agent an ongoing monthly cut. So a percentage of your percentage. So they turn a lost landlord into a monthly income. They're happy to work with you. A mortgage broker is different. They usually take a fee up front. So with them, you agree a referral fee. $250, $500, whatever you both actually agree. But here's the beauty of it. That money comes out of the revenue from the first month of the deal. It doesn't come out of your pocket up front. The deal has to be live and earning first. Then they get paid from what he actually makes. So you're paying them from future revenue. Let me put real numbers in it so this actually lands. Let's say an agent sends you a landlord. You take on the property, and after all your cost, you're profiting, let's say, £1,000 a month. You might give that agent £100 of it every single month. To you, that's £900 a month from a deal that you would have never found on your own. To them, it's £100 a month from a landlord that they were about to lose completely anyway. Everybody's winning. Now picture 5 of those relationships, then 10, all quietly feeding you landlords month after month, year after year, while everyone else is still cold messaging strangers one at a time. So it cost you nothing to build an army of people who are sending you landlords. That's the whole game. So let's bring it together. Stop chasing landlords one by one. Go find the people who already have them, then run the C.A.R.E system. Criteria: pick the right rooms and know your person. Adapt, meet their pain, stay honest, and pin the win. Reinforce, follow up like a professional and book those one-to-ones, and then endure. Play the long game and make it worth their while. You do that, and you will never struggle to find landlords again. I promise you. And remember, I built my whole business up to the point where we generated £150,000 a year on just that one skill. Before I ever ran any ads, before anything fancy, just relationships built the right way. It's the simple, most valuable skill that you can develop in this whole business. So please don't rush past it. And if you want the exact scripts, the templates, and the step-by-step, I've put it all in my free 30-day Airbnb launch plan. It's the name, how to name your company, the setup, how to find the right locations, how to land your first deal. The full week-by-week plan is inside, and the link is in the description below. And if this has helped you, then guys, hit that subscribe button. I'm putting out 2 videos every single week on how to build a real Airbnb business here in the UK. So start this week, find one networking event near you, book it, turn up, and just have 2 good conversations. That's it. That's your first step. Don't overthink it. The people that you need, they're already in those rooms. They're waiting to meet someone like you who's actually serious. So be that person. Go and build your network, ladies and gents. Onwards and upwards, and I'll see you in the next one.